At least 32 people were killed nationwide after last week's outbreak of tornadoes and severe weather. One man was killed in Pontotoc County. 55-year-old James Dean was described as hardworking and dedicated. He was a father of 6 who worked 2 jobs to support his family. WTVA's Garner Montgomery is live in Pontotoc County to share how his family is reeling from their loss.
When the tornado came through here in the College Hill community in Pontotoc County, James Dean, who went by JD, was in his home with his family before their house was destroyed by this tornado. I talked with a family member Saturday morning after the tornado came through. She said JD had called his pastor at around 1 o'clock that morning saying the tornado was coming towards his area.
And he told him that, Pastor, I've never left my house before, and he wasn't going to leave this morning. He said it was all in God's hands.
JD was in the home with his wife and 3 of his children when the home was hit. JD was later pronounced dead at a hospital. His oldest son, Terrence, said his father was a hardworking and God-fearing man.
Anytime you talk to him, he's going to talk to you about God and his faith. He's going to always talk about his wife, or his queen, as he would call her. He wouldn't even call her by name. It was always my queen this, my queen that.
JD's wife, Kelsey, was significantly injured and is still receiving treatment for her injuries.
She's still paralyzed from the neck down, but when you call to check on her, she's checking on you, right? She's just the type of person that is always trying to pour in love and light to the people around her.
The 3 children in the tornado were injured and received treatment at Le Bonheur Hospital in Memphis.
I can't imagine what the kids are going through. I know that they're just heartbroken, right? Like, not only because they were involved in the tornado, right, but just seeing your mom in that state, like losing a father.
The family has yet to set up funeral arrangements. They do have some out-of-state family. Terrence is actually from California, and JD has family in Indiana. But they do ask that you keep them in your prayers as they go through a difficult time. JD was a breadwinner for their family, so financially they needed some help at this moment in time. Reporting live from Pontotoc County, Garner Montgomery, WTVA 9 News.
Meanwhile, a Ripley football coach who lives in Pontotoc says he and his family are fortunate to be alive following that recent storm. Assistant Ripley football coach Rob Allen says that he and his family were asleep when the storm started. They got a WTVA weather call. The coach says his wife then rounded up the family and they got into the laundry room just before the tornado hit their home. The storm actually lifted off the roof right above where their son's bedroom was located.
Still sinking in. I'm still some shock.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out things. So, hey, it's a process.
Yeah.
We're gonna get through it. So, I'm confident there.
The Ripley baseball team came down later to help clean up the property. Many of those players were also members of the football team that Allen coached. Coach Allen's home was one of the worst hit in Pontotoc County. We have some news to pass along for tornado victims in Pontotoc County. There's more cleaning supplies available. Pontotoc County's EMA director says that it has additional cleaning supplies that includes brooms, rakes, shovels. You can go to the Agri Center to get whatever it is that you need. Also in Pontotoc County, those of you needing help with cleanup now have a number to call to get some help. The number that you can call is on your screen, 662-489-3946. They'll take your name and get your address. The Pontotoc County EMA says it has several volunteer groups looking to help with whatever they can. Just keep in mind this is specifically for cleanup around yards, not for debris removal. Recent storms rolling through have more people using their local storm shelters, but some rural communities are having a tough time finding a safe place. And when they do, sometimes there's just no more room. WTVA Sammy Roebuck's live in Mooreville after talking to folks about the situation.
These storm shelters were filled to the brim during last week's storms. I was told over 50 people were packed inside, and over in this parking lot was full as well. It was 3 cars back in separate rows in each space. That's how many people drove to this storm shelter for safety.
Thank you, Brandon. I think you need some more room. I really do.
Mooreville locals are struggling to find shelter during storms. Retired Fire Chief Ron Whitty says having to turn people away is an extremely difficult position to be in.
Not too promising. People want to get in out of the weather. It's discouraging, and we would like to help them out, but government money says we can't buy. Our money is for our trucks and for the fire protection.
Whitty says part of the issue is the community is aging, which doesn't give people many options.
Neighborhoods are made up of older people, and the older people can't afford it because they're on Medicaid, disability and all that kind of stuff. So they try to come to these shelters because they can't afford one.
Barry Bradley is on the board of the Mooreville-Eggville Volunteer Fire Department and lives next door to these shelters. He was there during last week's storms.
Emotions was very high because it was getting very bad, and we were all trying to get inside, and there was a little lady outside trying to get in with her 2 children, and she couldn't get in. And I went around and looked at the other one, and it was packed. I don't know if they could even shut the door. And that bothered me really bad. And I started to just get out and let her have my spots, and
These 2 storm shelters were technically built for emergency personnel only, but Bradley says many locals aren't aware that they weren't built for the public.
that surprised me too, because Jason told me the other day that it was just for the fire department, and I didn't know that, and the public don't know it either. So I don't know what to do about that.
Ron Whitty says they are working to find grant money for more shelters with the help of the county supervisor. There are 6 shelters at all of the volunteer fire departments in the area, but that is not enough for the people that live nearby. Reporting in Mooreville, Sammy Roebuck, WTVA 9 News.
Police in Macon are still looking for a few suspects in connection to some recent shootings. We will give you the latest on their search efforts. And what can we expect for the rest of our evening as far as weather's concerned? More rain, more chilly temperatures? Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon will join us later this half hour with some answers. We'll be right back.
He just hangs out here. He kind of free roams. Percy comes to work with Chelsea every day, even working some shifts too when she's not here.
We're seeing the long-term benefits of it already in even just a short amount of time.
A cop with hops. It's a great little free friend.
I'm dying here.
A bunny that doesn't come once a year. I go in to see him every chance I get. But daily to do an important job.
That's a good bunny.
At the Yuba City Police Department.
I'm gonna need a bunny. No. Can I have a bunny? Okay.
No. All right now.
I'm gonna need a bunny. The Noxubee County Sheriff's Department is searching for 2 men wanted for 2 separate shootings. The first happened in Macon. Right now, police are still looking for DeAndre Smith for his alleged involvement in a March 21st shooting in the Pinewood area. Police say Juve Mosley and 2 other juveniles were inside the car at the time. Smith's considered armed and dangerous. Macon Police Chief Divine Beck is asking you to be on the lookout and send in any information that could help them find him. The second shooting is in Macon that happened earlier this week. Right now, police have 1 person in custody and a second suspect still on the run. Tyree Jernigan is the man that's in custody. This happened after a shootout in downtown Macon. It happened Tuesday night. Jernigan is charged with 6 counts of aggravated assault and 1 count of shooting into a home. A judge set his bond at $100,000. Chief says he faces several counts because he put several people's lives in danger. He also mentioned that one of the bullets went through a house while children were outside playing just a few blocks over. Around 54 degrees outside, chilly, cloudy, rainy, just kind of an overall dreary day as we look outside in Starkville. That's Highway 25 there. When we come back, Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon will be here with a complete look at our forecast. Third time.
She doesn't need a bunny. Check, check, yeah, interview only.
Mean like that.
What?
Nothing.
I mean, I hear bunny tastes good.
Officer Hops would be very upset.
Oh, God. You guys make it easy on me. So, which tastes better, bunny or squirrel? Huh?
You've never had either.
I haven't. I'm just asking. It's a question. It wasn't a statement. Because they're nuts. Why don't we continue to feed our pigs nuts?
Really?
Stephanie, every time.
What a win.
Every time. What's unethical about it?
Now, your WTVA Severe Weather Authority forecast with Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon.
Oh, the heat is gone. It is chilly out there.
It is. It's a little cool. And certainly tonight, I think some spots might actually drop into the 40s for early tomorrow morning, especially northwestern portion of the area. I mean, temperature only 53 right now. And that northeast wind at 17 miles per hour makes it feel cooler. And that technically there's not a wind chill because we're not upper 40s. It's one of those weird meteorological technicalities. If it were, obviously feel like lower 40s. It feels cool out there this evening. And certainly on our hour-by-hour forecast, temperatures reflect only a little bit of a drop because, I mean, we are in April at this point here, but we're going to go back into the mid-50s as we head toward around 8 p.m. or so, and that rain coverage on the increase as showers move back in for tonight. As we look into tomorrow, we're going to go to around 52 degrees, 3 o'clock in the morning, fairly widespread showers overnight. They become more thinned out by tomorrow morning's commute, at least for some spots. We'll look at that here in just a moment. But as we go throughout your Good Friday there, we expect probably lower 60s, marginally warmer than today, but that northeast wind keeps it feeling cool because we have a stalled front positioned overhead. I do think that we start clearing things enough on Saturday that most of the rain chances start sliding south of us, and we are hopeful to have at least a little bit of sunshine on your Easter Sunday. Certainly temperatures getting a little bit warmer by that afternoon into the lower 70s. But for those sunrise services on your Easter, we are anticipating temperatures kind of flirting with the 50-degree point. Sunrise time is 6:32 a.m. and some of our projections have some clearing out there. We'll look at that in particular on Storm Tracker coming up at 10 o'clock, but I'll tell you this, there's still quite a bit of cloud cover around the region. We're hoping maybe near the Tennessee state line to get some sun, or at least some clearing skies for the sunrise services. High pressure is what's trying to bring us that transition to drier, but with our front stalled south, I mean, we basically have a collision going on here between those cooler temperatures that have infiltrated much of the area to the north and that warmer, more moist air down south. So that leads to this stalled front, and because it's not really moving much, everything staying pretty close at hand. That's why the rainfall we had last night, today, and tonight that continues into your Good Friday, as well as also potentially into at least part of your Saturday. All the strongest thunderstorms down there in South Mississippi and Louisiana, including some severe weather that direction. But as we bring it in a little closer here, just some lighter variety showers to moderate rainfall moving into Water Valley. Those will continue spreading up toward New Albany and up toward around Ripley and Corinth over the course of the next 30 minutes or so. But again, that's mainly just light lighter to moderate rainfall does become a little bit heavier as we go into tonight. As you'll note there, fairly widespread as we go past midnight. So we're looking 12:30 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning or so. There will be some rumbles, but no severe weather associated with that. And rain showers try thinning out a little bit more as we get closer to your morning commute, but certainly heavy rainfall adding up to maybe 2 inches or more in some spots overnight. So I'm kind of on the edge of that aerial flooding. If there are issues with that, Chelsea will be watching things with live local traffic and storm track Doppler radar tomorrow morning from 4:30 to 7 a.m. As we progress throughout your Friday, you'll note we have what are mostly dry conditions, at least for parts of the day, but then you get more rain that tries to move in. So it's not a complete washout, but it's also not completely dry by any stretch of the imagination. High temperatures for tomorrow, where those clouds, where that rainfall is more widespread, kind of holding temperatures in a lot of spots probably back in the upper 50s to maybe very low 60s, well below that 73 we typically expect for this time of the year. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast, which has us making it into the 70s again by your Easter Sunday afternoon, first part of the day. I mean, we're not talking about those full-on warm weather Easter dresses, not like we could have probably a couple days ago pulled off there. And then by next week, drier conditions really settling in for a few days there as we look to have a more tranquil pattern. No severe weather on this, Emily, so anytime we could say that this time of year, especially coming off of what we've come off of, it's a nice thing to say.
It's nice to be able to feel like I can breathe again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. Since the year started, at least 478 tornado reports have been recorded in the United States. That's twice as many as the typical average by this time. Reports are usually submitted by residents, law enforcement officers, or anyone who sees a tornado. At least 63 people have died because of a tornado or tornado-related damage this year, 13 of which have been in Tennessee. At least 25 people died in Mississippi during severe weather that happened on March 24th. Unfortunately, the total number is expected to continue to climb. On average, about 71 people lose their lives to tornadoes every year. And if you were one of the many people affected by tornadoes, we want to remind you that WTVA has partnered up with the Create Foundation and the United Way of Northeast Mississippi. Your monetary donation will help communities impacted by the storms rebuild. You can call 662-841-9133 to donate to the Monroe County Disaster Relief Fund. Donations can be made online at createfoundation.com or unitedwaynems.org. Supplies of all kinds have just been pouring in over the last couple of weeks to help those suffering from the storm damage. We will give you a look at how people have rallied to help as the News at 6 continues. Might be interesting. So Masterbuilt apparently had a storm shelter they put together in Rolling Fork. Last week they went there and picked it up and brought it back to their facility in New Albany as a reminder to their employees that what they do makes a difference.
That's a story. Where did you hear this?
It's on, remember Dana from Italy? She reposted it from Masterbuilt. And then he talks about, like,
they replace it with a different one.
Owner of Chuck's Dairy Barn to offer support and hear the story firsthand. After emotional discussion, Scott offered a donation from the company and asked if she would mind if we took the walk-in back to our facility. We thanked her for parting with it, as we know it's been an integral part of the business since 1977. Tracy and her team will rebuild, so I guess they're probably just going to get a new one. Because look, I mean, like,
That's not a storm shelter. That is a.
That's a cooler.
Cooler, yeah.
But still, like, that's
Wow.
at a dairy barn.
I always say get in the cooler, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna send that up. That's.
Do I get the here? I'll share that one, or should I wait to share it?
Do you want me to just
Send it to me.
send it to you?
Or you want to share it as me?
I can. No, I'm not gonna share it as you. Sometimes my stuff doesn't go through. Apparently, they ran a story on the USA Today on it. I'll send it to you. Wow. You want me to email it or put it out on
Whatever you think is best.
Pallets of bottled water, boxes of canned soup, even packages of diapers. Right now, the West Amory Community Center is just packed with disaster relief supplies of all kinds. Supplies have been rolling in for the last 15 days to help victims from the storms. Volunteers continue to hand out items as they come in. Food, water, cleaning supplies, those are the ones that are in big demand. The West Amory Community Center is now one of the key locations for tornado relief.
Because we are Amory strong here. You let anything happen, everything to our community, I mean, everybody comes together. I mean, it doesn't matter what ward you're in, everybody works as one. You know, here everybody shares everything, everybody comes together. We have great people, we have great churches.
The community center will be closed tomorrow, but will reopen next week, Monday through Friday, starting at 8:30 in the morning. And if you want